Welcome to the Local Logic Impact Awards. We really appreciate you joining us. We're here to officially announce the awards, the winners of this award. And let me first introduce the folks on the call. And look, this might be a short call, a long call. We don't care. We're just here to kind of talk about what they did, why they won, etc., what the awards mean. So before I do that, let me take a moment to introduce everybody. We have Jill De Silva, who's the Senior Vice President at Engel and Völkers. Along joining her is Colin Hull, the VP of Digital Marketing for Engel and Völkers. We have Ali Harry, of course, Ali, because we talked about it so much, Harrianto, who's the VP of Product at Corcoran. And we have V. Nguyen, who is the Martech Manager at Seven Gables. So first of all, thank you guys for taking a few minutes to accept your award. So, the Local Logic Impact Awards are basically to recognize customers who've turned location insights into a measurable impact. Okay? So really delivering an exceptional experience in whatever category that you were nominated for. And we were really delighted that I know this is kind of a weird time of year that we were just talking about, but we were delighted in the response. We had well over 500 votes, not bad for the last 2 weeks of a crunch before Christmas. Um, and we're just excited that we appreciate it. We did not, just in case it needs to be said, we did not pre-pick winners. We did not go by favorite client or anything like that. We love all our clients. So it was genuinely a vote. And it actually, one of the categories, it came down pretty close to 4 o'clock on Friday. It was actually a pretty tight margin of like 4 or 5 votes in a particular category. So it was fun for us. I suspect we'll do it again next year. But we just appreciate everybody who was willing to be nominated and participate, etc. So that's the contest. By the way, if you have any questions, I'll hold till the end, but we're happy to take questions as you see fit. Um, the next thing I want to do is kind of just go ahead and talk about, the each category and award it. So the first category that we're going to go through is the Community Page Award. This is, and I'll read you exactly as we wrote it so I don't butcher it all, but this is awarded for delivering an immersive neighborhood discovery experience that blends local logic type or local insights with refined content and clean design to help consumers understand what it's truly like to live in any given neighborhood. And I love all the categories, but I do think this one is particularly relevant to where the industry is today. So I think that's really nice. There's definitely been a shift to presenting communities and neighborhoods, and actually all the clients on the call have actually done that. We don't allow for repeat in categories, so you do all participate in that effort to kind of serve your consumers on a more community basis. The nominees for this category, gosh, I feel a little bit like the Oscars. I don't know. I should have an envelope, right? Um, are Briggs Freeman, Engel and Völkers, John R. Wood, Remax, and Residential Properties. And the winner was present on the call. I should have was obviously Engel and Völkers. So bravo, brava, bravo, etc. I'm going to take a minute and kind of go to a link to share what it looks like. And then I'm going to turn to Colin on behalf of Engel and Volkers. One second here. Let me show it. Hopefully my internet will, participate. But you guys can all see it. This is the Engel and Volker site. And this is their page for North Austin in Austin, Texas. And if you come down here, you will see some active listings, which is great. And then you will see here in a very clean way the get to know the neighborhood with the local logic SDKs showing the boundary of the neighborhood. And of course, I'm not going to do a demo. I don't want people to think this is too much of an infomercial. But what you can do here is, of course, click on anything and then get in the experience, and you can click zoom in, zoom out, etc. Then they also have some description of the neighborhood from the transportation service character. They have our proprietary scores, and they have some schools, and they have market trends data. So a whole host of data that we're proud to provide. I think I will stop sharing the screen for a minute and turn back to Colin. Colin, can you tell us a little bit about Engel and Volkers, or who you serve, why you chose Local Logic, how it's going, etc.?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Engel and Völkers, we are a global luxury brand based in, founded out of Hamburg. And we have about 16,000 or so advisors across the globe, about 6,000 of whom or so reside in the Americas, which is the territory that Jill and myself represent, namely North America, obviously US, Canada, and Central America and the Caribbean is where our primary kind of base is, with about 300 or so shops throughout. So the reason that we kind of really embraced these local neighborhood pages was to have something where obviously we have a robust amount of data, robust amount of content that we are able to really kind of build on the fly and automate on behalf of our end users. In the example Audrey just demonstrated, we can see that, we have this concept of having sort of, shop sites. So that was the Austin shop site where we are very much highlighting all of those neighborhoods that they choose to highlight, and really are able to do so in a flexible manner. So what you obviously don't see there kind of on the back end is the capability for people to really kind of go in depth. So we have all of the automated information on, we saw the restaurants example. All right. Now, if you want to talk about, I think North Austin, that's where the domain is, right? Kind of a large mall area there. If you want to talk about the restaurant experience, we provide additional content opportunities for you to do so, or the local hiking trails, or recreational opportunities, or
Mm.
additional things that are kind of in the character of that neighborhood, so that we're able to really make these pages a combination of automation and human-driven content input.
Love it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Again, if people have questions, feel free. I will take a look at the end. But thank you. I think that's perfect. We do a lot with England Volkers, and we're thrilled. Okay, next category. All right, moving right along. We have the Listing Detail Page Award category, recognized for creating one of the most comprehensive and engaging listing detail pages in the industry, leveraging local logic insights to help consumers evaluate listings with unprecedented depth from lifestyle fit to neighborhood content. And the nominees were Corcoran, FC Tucker, One Sotheby's, Sotheby's International Realty Canada, and Windermere. And of course, the winner is Corcoran. And let me kind of share my screen for a second, and bring it up, so you guys can see exactly what it looks like for them. One second. Always share screen on the webinar, so doing pretty good here. Um, this is a, yeah, there it goes. This is a listing detail page in Manhattan, for Corcoran. And this is, and I have to say, I do show when I demo, forgive me. Again, I try not, I love all my clients and I try not to be biased, but I am in your sites a lot. And I will say that I think Corcoran has done an incredible job of integrating our SDKs in a clean way. I do love to show it, Allie. It is actually probably one of my favorite listing detail page implementations.
Thank you.
Um, uh, Up there with I love Orla Page too, so I'll show that. I'll throw them a bone. But but I think this is really clean, and I think when you implemented about a year or two ago, it was a realization to me of how nicely it can be embedded and really fit into the style. So I love to show it as an example of how you can stylize and still keep within your brand. So I think that's like a big thing. So you'll notice here. They do the community port with the demographics, and then they also have our local content here. And this one happens to have a lot of color because of the green and the blue, because we're near the park and such. But just generically, I think you guys have done, and you have other widgets of ours elsewhere, but I think you've done an amazing job with regard to styling and incorporating it on a listing detail page. So I will stop sharing and kind of throw the same question to you, if that's okay, which is, who are you, what you doing, why, etc.
Thanks. So my name is Ali Haryanto, and the Corcoran Group has been around over 50 years now, and we're also a national and international brand with presence in the Caribbean as well as in Europe. We have about 149 offices at this point and about almost 6,000 agents worldwide. Um, we affiliated about 5 years ago at this point. We started out as very strongly a northeastern, southeastern brand, primarily with a heavy focus in, the New York and South Florida areas. And over the last 5 years, we've kind of expanded, like I said, nationally, internationally. And with that, it was really important for us to find a good partner like Local Logic to really kind of emphasize where, you know, those interests are in these different communities because we weren't familiar with a lot of these points of interest in these now expanding localities. And we also wanted to make sure that we partnered with somebody that we can fit into our existing ecosystem on our listing detail page. And it was a really good experience. I mean, they've been a really great partner with us. And we also didn't want to break our entire UI of our existing listing page. So that's another reason why we partnered with them. It really just, we were able to take their SDK, just kind of plop it in and be able to have a really seamless experience. And so far so good, and we've been able to expand that partnership throughout the site, and hopefully, leverage it even more. And they also utilize Atom data, so a lot of that data that they're taking in, they're doing a lot of the heavy lifting for us, so we don't have to kind of recreate the wheel. And one of the things that really interested me in the beginning of our relationship is we were able to detect where the electric chargers were. As
Yeah.
stupid as that was, Teslas and all of the whole comeuppance of electric powered vehicles, it was a really important point to be able to find that, especially in New York and a lot of our high net worth locations. They want to know where those electric charging units are to be able to bring their cars to. So so far, it's been a really great partnership, and I thank you for the award. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you for that. And Local Logic is a data company. Yes, we are insights, but we are data scientists at heart. And I do think that's a differentiator and an important one for us. Half the company is data scientists. We deeply, we deeply care. You'll find us on Redfin, under Realtor.com, and a lot of sites with a lot of traffic, and we stand behind that data. We're not just, repurposing it. So it's important. We want to, like I always say, that support is good because we want people to look at it and ask questions, and it matters. We want people to engage. Speaking of engagement, last category, V, it's you're up. So for the last category is best search experience. And I'm kind of glad I've done it in this order, honestly, because I think the search experience is really changing so dramatically in the industry for consumers. So let me go ahead and describe the category. Celebrated for delivering an intuitive, consumer-first property search experience that seamlessly integrates local logic's rich data to support personalized exploration, faster decision making, and higher quality engagement. Nominees are Baird Warner, Carolina One, Christie's International Real Estate Group, Royal LePage, and Seven Gables Real Estate. Obviously, we do the, brrr, and V here at Seven Gables. I am glad to say that you were the winner of that. And we're thrilled to have you. Let me share my screen again and kind of show you a little bit about what we're talking about here. And why I think this is, oh, let me see. Hang on sorry guys, 1 second here. Sharing. Okay, sharing. There we go. Um, I think what is so interesting about sort of what Seven Gables is, you guys can see my screen, yes? Okay, good. What's interesting about what's in Seven Gables and some of our other partners are doing, especially through, and you guys do this through Union Street, so we'll throw them a nice plug with Union Street Media, as we do have a number of joint customers with them. What you'll see here is a lifestyle button, and this is our lifestyle search. And this is, look, with AI search and we're really trying not just to kind of present a ton of properties to the customer, and we're assuming that they may or may not know where they want to live. So we're taking the time to ask them, hey, you can search for properties based on your lifestyle. You can pick what's important to you. And then what we'll do is we'll help you match things to what's important to you. So we can actually take that extra step and say, hey, go ahead and take a look here because this is what meets your lifestyle. I do think that COVID really solidified this, not just this product for us, but for the consumer experience. People were living where they work and working where they live. I personally know when we empty nested, we had to have a Starbucks across the street, according to my partner, and also to walk to the grocery store. So we were kind of classic empty nesters that we got to pick how we live very differently. And now I'm in a condo after single families of 30 years, right? So that mattered, right? It did. And honestly, it matters for renters too. So I always feel like we talk so much about, it's funny, I just had a conversation with a large rental company, and I was like, we focus so much on people residential, and yes, we want to buy and sell properties, but renters care too where they live, and sometimes they're renting for a long period of time in one place, but they care about the same things. So V, I will stop and say, like, can you tell us a little bit about Seven Gables? And I know you are not as big, but you are a real leader in your area. When I first started working with you guys, I was absolutely tickled. So please.
Yes, thank you. Again, thank you. We're very honored to receive this award. Seven Gables is an independent brokerage. We are rooted in Orange County. We are headed into our 50th year in operation next year. And now we're proudly serving communities across Southern California with presence in Orange County, San Gabriel Valley, and the desert. And we have, I think, about almost 10 offices and nearly 500 dedicated agents. And for context on why we chose Local Logic, and we actually essentially we completely revamped our website this past year. So we partnered with Union Street and Local Logic to create this visually engaging and easy to navigate experience that keeps users exploring. So it connects them with the best agents for their needs. And Local Logic truly simplified the searches, and they provided clear neighborhood insights, helping the consumers make informed decisions. So the interactive features really make it an essential tool in today's market. To your point, Audrey, especially after COVID, I think the interactive features really helps the educational standpoint of understanding the neighborhood. Even if you're just a renter living for a long time, there's schools in the area that is still important for consumers to know, where will my child go to school, even though I'm currently renting in this area. So the tools have really shaped our home search, and we're very excited to continue shaping the future of home search with Local Logic. So on behalf of Seven Gables, we thank you.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. See, that was perfect.
Oh,
Very, very nice. Um, so technically, we've done what we're going to do here. I will throw one little quick curveball at each of you because I just like to do it. It keeps me entertained, which is since we have just 5 more minutes, um, you guys are in really significant positions in the industry. As we head into the end of the year, I know it was a super easy year on everybody, not. But it was a transformative year. Let's say that. Um, do you have one piece of wisdom that you would like to share from an industry perspective? You've all been very kind about Local Logic, and we appreciate it, but you don't have to mention us. This is like just from your hearts and your souls and your minds. If you have any general wisdom or good cheer, whatever, however you want to say it, I'll go around the horn to the industry. We serve the industry and we do try and kind of speak to that. For me, I'll go first. It'll make you all easier. I want to say to the industry, probably being a little bit of a wizened person. Let's not talk about age. Um, I would say to the industry, look, having been around a little while, there's ups and there's downs. And this is an industry that I always call it Hotel California for a reason. You can get in, but you can never leave. But there's a reason. It is constantly evolving and changing. I remember, gosh, some of the stuff Jill used to go on 10 years ago that I just thought was epic and changes were made. And now there's always something happening here. And we adjust and adapt. That is sort of our core talent in this particular vertical. And adapt, adjust, and enjoy the ride. That's me. What about you, Jill?
It's funny, I was thinking something very similar, just having been in this a long time. Like there are ups, there are downs, and we get through it. And I think the those that survive are the ones that are meant to be in it and continue to do it. And it teaches us more as we continue to go forward. So just stick with it.
And try and have some fun.
Yeah,
What about you, Allie?
along the way.
Yeah, I mean, resiliency and being able to be agile and just be able to go whichever the way the wind blows type of thing. And I think also just re-engaging the basics, networking with
Yeah.
people, and humanizing your relationships again, and not just everything via your phone as far as text messaging and social media and stuff like that. Just kind of reconnecting with humanity again has to happen, I think, in the new year. I think a lot of just hiding behind the screens is created a lot of some of the situations that we have in society right now, and just in business and in life. And as from a real estate perspective, I think that it bleeds into that as well. I think it also
Yeah.
creates this constant need for instant gratification. And the reality is that these deals can't be done in the way that you think it can be when, through a text message or something like that. So,
Yeah.
patience is a virtue.
Yeah. I like that. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. It's very thoughtful. V, what about you?
Well, I'm more of a back-end operator in my role, so marketing automations and tech operations with the world of AI, and even in our industry, it's constantly evolving. So I always say, I think actually Mike, our CEO, always says this is challenge the status quo. So keeping a very open mind and just constantly challenge the challenges, right? The AI is just so broad, but at the same time, there's just so much out there that it is harder for some people to keep up than others, but as long as we continue educating it in our industry and how we can benefit off of that, and that goes the same for our company and how we operate as we continue to grow, is to always challenge the status quo. And for me, as personally in my position, it's been a challenge trying to learn these new ways of operating technology and automating our processes as we continue to grow. So that's really all I have to say is always face the challenges and you'll do just fine.
That was very Finnish of you. I
Oh,
like it.
thank you.
All right. Bring us home, Colin.
Boy, I guess definitely agree with everybody who
Well,
just
that's it
spoke.
then. You're good. No.
Yeah, exactly. Done. Right. But no, I mean, Allie just kind of mentioned, going back to the basics, right? So it doesn't matter what is kind of going on from a technology perspective. Well, it certainly does matter, but I just always keep in mind, this business is people first and hyper local. Right. And so making sure that you have the right partners for your data access, right, is something that is definitely very important. Leveraging all of the evolving tools, technologies, AI in this case, right, to help make you even more hyper local at greater scale, at greater speed, to help you connect with the people in your local markets. To me, that is the basics of real estate and how we kind of, make sure that we're keeping our eye on the ball moving forward.
It's very true. And so I'll sum it up. What I heard was, well, for me, I heard it's a ride, have fun. I heard don't lose track of, I'm going to combine two, which is be human and don't lose track of the fact that this is a human transaction. It always will be. It will always, as they say, be the largest transaction for the most part that people do, majority of people do. Um, and adapt and pivot, and challenge yourself in the process. So those are good words. I like that. I'm glad I asked. Well, thank you guys. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. You'll get an award in the mail. So please send me a picture since I won't be getting one to see what you got. So, all right, guys. Happy Wednesday. And thank you again for participating and congratulations.
Thank you, Audrey.
Thank
Take
you so
care.
much for the
Thank
See you
opportunity.
guys.
Nice to meet you. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Have a great